Good morning. It's so nice to see so many of you. Today we have our special service for Ohigan, and we're going to have a presentation for our annual Keirokai. My name is Dorothy Okamoto, and I will be the chairperson today. We'll start today's service with Sambujo on page 24 and 25, followed by the reading of the Hyobyakumon, the purpose of the service.
Hyobyakumon. Today, on this occasion of the Fall Ohigan service and our Keiro celebration, members of our temple families have reverently come before Amida Buddha with deepest reverence and thankfulness for the all-embracing wisdom and compassion of Amida. We reaffirm the three homages, Namo Kie Butsu, Namo Kie Ho, Namo Kieso. I go to the Buddha for guidance. I go to the Dharma for guidance. I go to the Sangha for guidance. Please repeat the Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda, Namanda, Namanda.
So now we'll come in. So now we'll have sutra chanting, Jusei on page 93. Please stand for Gatha Nembutsu 1 on page 169, and then remain standing for the Three Treasures 1 on page 8. Thank you.
Page 8, Three Treasures, number 1. Hard is it to be born into human life. Now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the teachings of the Blessed One. Now we hear it. If we do not realize the truth in this life, when will it be realized? Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in the Buddha. May we absorb ourselves in the principle of the way to enlightenment and awaken in ourselves the supreme will. I take refuge in the Dharma. May we be submerged in the depths of the doctrine and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in the Sangha. May we live in harmony in the great assembly as disciples of Buddha and be freed from all hindrances, becoming units of true accord in the life of harmony, in the spirit of universal oneness, freed from the bondage of selfishness. Even through myriad ages of kalpas, hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful doctrine. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of Tathagata's teachings. Namo Amida Butsu. 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 Please be seated.
So, with great pleasure and just thank you, Sensei will now introduce our guest speaker today, Reverend Elaine Donlin.
Good morning. Ohigan. Ohayou gozaimasu. Yeah, nice to see so many people here, and it's a very special, you could feel. As soon as people came in, all the footsteps were a little bit quicker, and people had things to take care of, and instead of that, and you could hear people going here and there and getting everything ready, and others, families joining in, and a special occasion to have Ohigan and our Keiro celebration. So certainly the Keiro is something very special. We're able to honor our senior members of the temple, of the community, 88 and above, and when we get there, we are surprised that we belong in this Keiro group. And so Kenny says, why am I sitting up here, right? Yeah, but gradually we come to take that position, and it's an honored position because we recognize and we appreciate not only these individuals, but their whole families, and they have contributed to the temple, to the community for years and generations, and to have this opportunity each year to recognize and honor them, it is indeed special. So we value that here at the temple. In Ohigan, we have our special guest speaker, Reverend Donlin from San Francisco Buddhist Temple. Before I introduce her, I have a couple of things to share. And first of all, it's been a busy time, and some of you know that my car got kind of a hit and run as it was parked. So they knocked the mirror off, and it's shattered on the ground, and very disappointed. So the next day was my oil change appointment. So I took my car to the garage, and when they were done the next day, so good news is your car's ready. Bad news is there was a hit and run. And so they parked my car. Somebody hit the exact same mirror, plus the door, the driver door and the passenger door. And so all of this damage, right? So one of the good things about having a damaged car, people don't trust you, so they get out of the way, you know? Yeah, so that's a good thing. But you know, I thought before I take it in for the body repair, I should wash it so I know exactly what I need and what they're going to do. So I'm out there yesterday washing the car, right? I have my grubbies on and a baseball cap and washing the car. And the gates are open, right? And this lady walks by. A black lady, happens to be about maybe 45 years old, never seen her before. And she looks in the gate, says, "Excuse me." And so I turn around. She says, "I just want to say, every time I walk by this place, I feel peaceful." So she says, "It's not just how it looks. You can feel the peace." And so, oh, well, thank you. Those are kind words to say, you know. And as I'm thinking about that, so yeah, that's very nice. There are certain places in a temple setting, and not only the temple, but all of us add to that peace. And we provide a sense of peace because we carry that. We carry those types of values. We learn about this through the Dharma and how it stabilizes our lives. We carry that peace into the world, okay? And it influences how we move, how we interact with people, how we carry ourselves in the world. And certainly beyond the peace, we have our own concerns and interests. People have need to take care of their own situations, their families, their elders, their young ones, concerns about the world, the society, and we do those things. But beneath all of that, there's a peace that we can provide and carry with us. And these are the values, right, that we learn and part of the Buddhist tradition, Jodo Shinshu, Nembutsu teachings, and we carry that quite often. I hear, what are we supposed to do? What is our practice? What are we supposed to do? But it's kind of like the talk about the smoked salmon. You know, we come here and we chant and we eat together, we talk together, and the smoke from the incense imbues our bodies. The smoke of the Dharma imbues our bodies and our beings, and we carry that. We are the smoked salmon, bringing out the peace into the world just by how we act and learn as Buddhists and share that with others, whether consciously or subconsciously. Okay. So, second story. I just got hearing aids, right? And boy, does that make you feel old, right? So I got these hearing aids and Costco hearing, and I put them on. And those of you that have hearing aids know what I'm talking about. But they say you'll get used to it first couple of weeks, and everything is amplified, right? And so I'm wondering, is that how my dog Quicker used to hear? Is that how Shadow hears everything? And so everything, I feel bionic, right? And so everything, every little faucet turn, every little key jingle, I can hear, right? So it's kind of very different and kind of exciting, trying to get used to it. And sometimes you hear, you know, when I'm walking out to the car, I could hear the conversation across the street, right? So those of you in the back row, be careful what you say, because I can hear what you're saying, all right? Okay. So today we have Reverend Elaine Donlin here from the San Francisco, Buddhist Church of San Francisco, and she's been in the Bay District, part of the Bay District for many, many years. You know, I don't need to go into her academic background and things like this, but one of the touching things that I've heard is when I heard her speaking about Abiko Sensei at his service and how he impacted her path into Jodo Shinshu Buddhism and the ministry, things of that nature. She's had opportunity to lead the national BWA when we hosted the World Conference, and she's recently been to Europe to listen in, participate on the conferences, Shin Buddhist conferences that they have over there. So she's had these opportunities, and through that experience that she's able to share with all of us. And so it's always a special time to have Reverend Donlin here with us. So with that, I'll let her share the portions of her background that she would care to. Okay, thank you. Sensei, please come up.
Good morning. Ohayo gozaimasu. Please join me in Gasho. Amida, full of compassion for those lost in the great night of ignorance, the wheel of light of Dharma body being boundless, took the form of the Buddha of unhindered light and appeared in the land of peace. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda. Good morning. Happy Ohigan. I would first like to thank Reverend Fujimoto for his kind invitation to be with you this morning. I was just here a while back for the Ashini Kakashini. I love the Sangha, and it was really nice to be here then, and especially nice to be here now. Ohigan is held twice annually to coincide with the spring and autumn equinox. Ohigan translates as the other shore and is a metaphor for crossing from this shore of ignorance, anger, greed to the other shore of nirvana. Ohigan is a time to reflect on the nature of our true self, which is hidden deeply beneath our ego self, as well as to contemplate the 6 paramitas, those Buddhist values of generosity, ethics, patience, diligence, contemplation, and wisdom. As Sensei mentioned, I just returned from England, actually, where I was invited to offer the closing talk for the 2025 European Shin Conference that was held in Oxford. Oxford is beautiful, just a gorgeous city, and they have really great pubs. The theme of the 2025 conference was peace and harmony. And surprisingly, some of the talks addressed the idea of the 6 paramitas that I just mentioned. They mentioned them as self-power. And community and social justice endeavors were also talked about as self-power. Not everyone agreed. There was a lot of tension in the room. And so I decided to share my talk, which is heavily edited because it was 30 minutes long. But I wanted to share with you today how I see this shore and other shore and the paramitas surrounding me. So I chose to title my talk Storms and Peace because that is the reality that I know. As a Shin minister at a Shin temple, as a night minister with the San Francisco Night Ministry, and also as a woman, as a queer person, as a senior citizen living in a country that frequently displays and promotes cruelty toward our most marginalized, including the sick and the aging. Storms and Peace was actually the title written by then 14-year-old Shin youth Skylar Lamb, entering their winning gatha in the 2023 Buddhist Churches of America Youth Lyric Contest. The first verse especially resonates. In the swirling of the storm, recite the Nembutsu and become my lantern in the darkness. I find this line to be so profound, especially relatable in 2025. And yet Shinran knew this sentiment all too well. The Kamakura period in which Shinran lived was incredibly turbulent, with major shifts in political and social structures, resulting in conflicts, invasions, and economic hardships. Add to that a series of catastrophic events, including earthquakes, typhoons, floods, fires, plagues, and famine. Daily life permeated with such a strong sense of life's impermanence, not unlike the conditions that have unfolded in our troubled and conflicted modern world, although with a much wider worldview, right? The bombings and starvation in Gaza, the ongoing war in Ukraine, the daily gun violence affecting every state in the U.S., and of course the cruel and barbaric treatment of our immigrant friends and neighbors. Exiled, they are living on the periphery of a less than peaceful world. Shinran, too, lived on this periphery and knew what it was like to be exiled. His banishment from Kyoto in 1207 was significant, as he was stripped of his priestly status, forced to become a layperson, adopted a new name, and moved to a harsh, unfamiliar coastal province. And 735 years later, many Shin followers in the U.S. experienced exile into devastatingly harsh World War II internment camps, where approximately 120,000 people of Japanese descent, primarily U.S. citizens, were forcibly relocated and incarcerated. Today, as before, there are many, many storms in need of literal peace, as well as the boundless wisdom and compassion of the Tathagata. I walk, or as we call it in the night ministry, I saunter into the night, as a night minister for the San Francisco Night Ministry. The Night Ministry was founded 61 years ago, and the major goal of this nonprofit organization has remained the same over the years: to provide compassionate, non-judgmental pastoral care and crisis intervention to those on the streets in need or in distress during the hours of 7 p.m. to 2 a.m. every night of the year. We don't judge or convert, we offer loving presence. We practice deep listening as we connect with how people make meaning for themselves. The Night Ministry envisions a world in which everyone can connect to with their inherent sacredness and express their unique humanity in spiritual companionship. The nights that I walk bring me in contact with people who feel isolated, separated, and deserted by their family, friends, and churches. And some, but not all, attempt to mask their oppressive loneliness with alcohol or drugs, while others struggle to make sense of untreated physical or mental health disorders. The streets have recentered my Shin ministry. Initially, I thought I'd be walking in the hell realms, as my family and friends probably still imagine I do. But after sauntering for some time now, this ministry of presence is teaching me that there's so much to life on the streets than what we see with our physical eyes. In particular, that the pure land of peace is found even in the outward visages of hell. Nightly, I encounter bodhisattvas, open-hearted, uncalculating, unfiltered, walls down, no pretense, no veneer, touching my heart and mind, calling out to me, Namo Amida Butsu, although with different words. And my grateful response after each encounter, with my ignorance and blind passions left intact, is also Namo Amida Butsu. I remain deeply thankful for these experiences, and I'm always reminded of the words of Ikeyama Ikichi in Gleanings on the Pure Land, who wrote, quote, "The path of the Nembutsu is not some place far away, separate from the reality of my delusion. The path of Nembutsu is revealed by the Tathagata, is the human way that is revealed to me where I am in the midst of my delusion," end quote. Much has been written in Shin about our self-created suffering in the Saha world, and often the Pure Land is presented as the cure for the inherent suffering of our anguish-inducing mortality. Melissa Ann Marie Curley, author of Pure Land, Real World, wrote that Shinshu, quote, is a tradition deeply invested in cultivating an imaginative identification with the abject, unquote. The problem, as I see it, is not that there is an acceptance of our Bombu fundamentally flawed and foolish existence, but rather that the Pure Land is presented as a future-focused panacea. In the West, there's a tendency to approach Amida Buddha and the Pure Land as a cure rather than a path to healing, which I find especially problematic because healing and curing are inherently different. To cure means that all evidence of disease is eliminated, while healing is a broader, more holistic process of becoming whole. In essence, healing is often a journey, while a cure is a more definitive outcome. This understanding supports the Shin Buddhism that I experience as a tradition of healing because I'm constantly changing, trying to accept myself just as I am, recognizing my imperfections and limitations while not necessarily eradicating them, and entrusting in the all-encompassing embrace of infinite wisdom and compassion. To appreciate Shin from an understanding of healing, one has to place more of the focus on how we are living our daily lives as Shin Buddhists, and not narrowly oriented toward the future Pure Land. The Nembutsu is relational, fostering authentic connection. This is so because Mahayana, in which the Pure Land tradition resides, is relational, right? The primal vow is the Bodhisattva's wish for all beings to be liberated. Not just some, but all. For me, it begins and ends with the Nembutsu. What did Shinran risk everything for, including banishment to a harsh environment and separation from his beloved teacher Honen? Right? The Nembutsu. The Pure Land movement was defined by the Nembutsu. There's no Shinjin without Nembutsu and no Pure Land without Shinjin. I often hear people on the streets talk about, quote, living life on life's terms, unquote. It's a phrase used in the AA recovery movement, which is about honoring who you are as a person while accepting that there are aspects of your life that are out of your control. This understanding requires a profound state of humility on the part of the person struggling with substance use disorder. It reminds me of what I often hear in Buddhism, to quote unquote see things as they are instead of how I want them to be. To experience life as it is without the blinding filters of judgment or bias, including self-cherishing. This understanding also requires humility. I have two Venn diagrams in my mind as I've experienced Shin. The first is how it's often been presented. And the second is how I actually experience it today. In the first Venn diagram, Venn diagrams, two diagrams, and then the middle part overlaps. So in the first Venn diagram, the circle on the left are the plentiful writings of Shinran. And the circle on the right are the doctrinal edicts from our mother temple, the Honganji. And in the middle, where the two circles overlap, are the myriad books, articles, and Dharma talks explaining how to understand the complexity of Shin. In the second Venn diagram, which is how I experience Shinshu, the left circle is the everyday life, with all the joy, beauty, challenges, and pain abounding. In the circle on the right is Amida Buddha, Pure Land, awakening, that fundamental primordial essence and truth reality that underlies all existence beyond human conception and description. It's the source and active agent of boundless compassion and wisdom. And directly in the middle, where the two circles overlap, is the Nembutsu, Namo Amida Butsu. It is the Nembutsu which intersects the trials and tribulations of daily life, which is the first noble truth, with all-inclusive wisdom and all-embracing compassion, resulting in the immediacy of being fully human, perfectly imperfect. It's the bridge between this Saha world of suffering and endurance and the Pure Land, a bridge between this shore and the other shore. The Nembutsu is embodied as we hear the call of unconditional compassion with our eyes, ears, minds, hands, feet, skin, our entire body, inviting us to move through this world with the wisdom heart of compassion. When new people come into the temple for the first time and ask, "What is Shin?" And what exactly is Namo Amida Butsu? How do we answer them? Do we hand them a book and expect them to read it? Or do we tell them the sacred mythical story of Dharmakara and the Pure Land in the Western Paradise, thousands of millions of miles to the west? How do we explain our practice to someone new? This question of Nembutsu has been posed to me many times in the past 25 years at Temple. I keep it personal. I explain that Nammo is me surrendering to or entrusting in Amida, which is boundless wisdom and compassion that supports and sustains me even when I'm ignorant of it. And when they ask, what does a Nembutsu do? I share that it fundamentally changes, it transforms everything, my perspective of how I see myself and the world in which I live. It's brought me more peace, more awareness, more kindness, and much, much more gratitude. In Stephen Batchelor's book, Confessions of a Buddhist Atheist, he wrote of the historical Buddha, Shakyamuni Buddha's quest to penetrate the causes of our human suffering, and wonderfully describing the historical Buddha's transformation as follows, quote, Gautama's awakening involved a radical shift of perspective rather than the gaining of privileged knowledge into some higher truth. He did not use the words know or truth to describe it. He spoke only of waking up to a contingent ground that until then had been obscured by his attachment to a fixed position. While such an awakening is bound to lead to a reconsideration of what one quote unquote knows, the awakening itself is not primarily a cognitive act. It is an existential readjustment, a seismic shift in the core of oneself and one's relation to others and the world. Rather than providing Gautama with a set of ready-made answers to life's big questions, it allowed him to respond to those questions from an entirely new perspective, end quote. This is not unlike Shinran's understanding of the readjustment that occurs in the Nembutsu practitioner, calling it, quote unquote, a change in the heart. In The Lamp for the Latter Ages, Shinran writes of this transformation. Quote, there was a time for each of you when you knew nothing of Amida's vow and did not say the name of Amida Buddha. But now, guided by the compassionate means of Shakyamuni and Amida, you have begun to hear the vow. Formerly, you were drunk with the wine of ignorance and had a liking only for the three poisons of greed, anger, and folly. But since you have begun to hear the Buddha's vow, you have gradually awakened from the darkness of ignorance, gradually rejected the three poisons, and come to prefer at all times the medicine of Amida Buddha, end quote. Namanda. Freedom, liberation, salvation, nirvana, awakening is found not by turning away from the world, but by penetrating deep within it, truly embracing it. We have been given everything we need to be fully human. How does each of you embrace a life of presence that acknowledges each human's incredible worth? How do we step into being fully human? I am certain there are many ways, but I can only speak for myself. It is by receiving the Nembutsu, through letting go into Namo Amida Butsu. Wonderful teacher and author Greg Kretsch once said, our experience of life is not based on life. Our experience of life is not based on our life, but on what we pay attention to. The motto of the San Francisco Night Ministry is lighten the darkness, rekindle the hope. We participate in shattering the myths about those living in poverty and seeing the light, courage, intelligence, strength, creativity of the people we encounter. Together we discover on the streets our common humanity, through which celebration, community, and healing occur. I try to pay attention. True entrusting allows me to receive the Buddha's grace, and grace is a breath that allows me to step into compassion for someone else. True entrusting is a prayer to life. On the cold evening streets of San Francisco, the Nembutsu isn't abstract or theoretical. It's practiced, offered, received, extended. It's a mindset and an action, transforming a simple hello and a moment of presence. In this precious time of Ohigan, when we contemplate this shore of samsara and the other shore of liberation, I think back on what the late Reverend Seigen Yamaoka wrote about Ohigan. He simply stated, Ohigan, cross over to love rather than drowning in hate. As we gather today as the Alameda Sangha, may we continue to hear the Nembutsu calling us and inviting us, as Reverend Fujimoto once said, quote, to step from the self to other so that our perspective becomes all-inclusive, end quote. And may we continue to walk this Nembutsu path together. Please join me in Gassho to hear the words of our founder, Shinran. Amida's vow is a great torch in the long night of ignorance. We should reflect that although our wisdom eyes are dark, we need not despair. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda. 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 Thank you.
Reverend Elaine, all I can say is thank you for your wonderful, amazing talk. So, what do we do? Okay, so okay, but we don't. Oh, she's here. Okay. Now, will you all stand for Ondok-san? It's on page 220. Sensei? Sensei?
Okay. Yeah. We have an additional thing here today that Reverend Donlin, in the past with our Bay District BWL meetings, was able to provide a Narcan presentation, and so basically the service has come to its end, and I would like to ask Donlin Sensei to step down to the lower podium and provide a Narcan presentation, and then we'll do our final concluding thank yous after that. Okay, so please listen carefully.
Thank you, Sensei. So I was provided the...
Thank you. I was provided the opportunity to attend a program called the Clinton Foundation's Religious Leadership one-year program. And what they found was that part of the problem with the opioid epidemic, which was declining in the Bay Area, starting to come back up again, was that religious leaders and institutions were left out of the discussion. So often when someone became addicted or struggled with substance use disorder, they would leave their churches because they didn't feel welcomed. They didn't feel, well, a lot of what we found out, it was an interfaith group of 20 of us, was that many people, it was not a part of seminary. So people didn't know how to talk to other people that were struggling with substance use disorder. So we went through this program. It was wonderful. Just learned all kinds of things about the opioid and just all types of substance use disorder. One of the things that they wanted us to do was to train. We became trainers in Narcan. And I have them out in my trunk. I'm sorry I didn't bring it in, but I will bring it in during the announcements. And the idea was that everybody should have Narcan, either in their medicine cabinet, in their glove box. The beautiful thing about Narcan, and the ones that I'll be giving out, it's just a one-shot inhaler. And there's three ways, 3 steps. The first step is to identify if someone is having an overdose. And so that means they're unconscious. So you call out their name, you take your knuckles and you rub it along their breastbone. If there is no reaction, actually this really hurts when you do this in real life. If there's no reaction, you take the Narcan, and this is the second step, put it in the nostril, squeeze it. The third step is call 911 because they may need more Narcan. Also, Governor Newsom, several years back, passed a law that every hospital has to be a part of the BRIDGE program. BRIDGE program means bridging substance use disorder with services. So everybody that comes in as an overdose or potential overdose or post-overdose is entered into the BRIDGE program, and services are available. They may not take it the first time, they may not take it the second time, maybe the third or fourth time is the charm. But the idea with Narcan is to keep people alive so they can get some help. So again, really simple steps. First is to make sure the person is unconscious. So you call their name really loudly or call a name really loudly. Then you take your knuckle, there's no response, along the breastbone really hard, still no response. Administer the Narcan. Third step is to call 911. Stay with them if you can. Turn them over on their side in case they throw up. You don't want them choking. But basically, it's those 3 steps. Very simple. I recommend if you have any narcotic, any opioid in your medicine cabinet, it is incumbent on you to have Narcan on your person. You don't know if someone who's really depressed in your family gets a hold of it. You don't know if you drop one on the floor and your dog eats it. Yes, you can use Narcan on pets. Actually, I've used Narcan more on pets working as a night minister than I have on people. Dogs especially, what do dogs do when you take them on walks? They sniff around. So someone who has just smoked or snorted an opioid, something with a fentanyl, anything with an opioid in it, the dog gets it. And National Geographic several years back did this huge article on how the opioid epidemic is affecting veterinarians. Because by the time you get your pet to the vet, your pet is dead. So if you're a dog owner, please take a Narcan and carry it on you on your walks. The cool thing about Narcan is that it's not a medication, that it's not regulated. I did a teaching at the Zen Center, and I was the subject, and the person that took the Clinton Project course with me was the one administering. So she did the 3 steps. She did the chest thing, called my name really loudly, and I pretended like I was slumped over. And then she actually administered the Narcan, which surprised me. But the thing is, if you're not suffering from an opioid overdose, it does nothing. If you're drunk, if you're high on some other substance, it does nothing. All I had was a little bit of medicinal nasal drip. So it is perfectly safe. It's safe for children, pets, adults. So if you have a pet, you should be carrying Narcan. If you have any type of substance in your medicine cabinet, an opioid, you should have. I mean, everybody has old pain pills, right? Back pills that you're saving for a rainy day. You should have Narcan on you, just in case. You just never know. So with that, I will turn it back over to Sensei. Right now, I'm going to go out to my car and get the Narcan. So anyone, you've all been trained. 3 steps. Identify, call the name, knuckle test. Second, administer the Narcan. Third step, call 911. Stay with them and call 911. So with that, I'm going to go out to the car and get the Narcan. I'll turn it back over to Sensei.
Okay, yes, thank you, Elaine, Reverend Elaine. Very valuable information, and it may affect us personally or our families. And here at the temple, we have so many activities and events. Could be something at the bazaar you see happening in the corner, or obon time, and you don't know. So when things do happen, we have to have this type of awareness of what's available to us and to have the wherewithal to react, okay? So I think this is very valuable. I'm glad we have a good crowd to listen to the lessons on Narcan. So thank you. Okay.
So in closing for today, acknowledgments. I'd like to thank all of you who helped with the altar preparations, and also Reverend Dennis. Morgan is in the back doing the YouTube. The altar flowers were done by Jane, and of course, Lenny, our organist. Now, do we have any newcomers or visitors today? If you can introduce yourselves, we'd like to welcome you. Oh, great. Stand up, please.
My name is Kelly Wong. I'm Mamie Bai's youngest daughter.
Okay, Kelly, welcome. Mamie, we know you did a good job. So our announcements. Next Sunday, September 21st, is our family service. Sunday, the 28th, we have an outdoor service and also Ask Reverend Dennis, so get your questions. ABWA annual food drive. It will go on until Ho'onko, November 16th. So monetary donations only. Do you want me to explain the process, or you want me to explain, or do you want to? Okay, so monetary donations only, no food donations like we used to do. You can donate online to the Alameda County Community Food Bank. So, do they find BTOA Autumn Food, Donna, on the website?
It's under virtual donation or virtual, and you'll find, you have to search for BTOA, and they'll say Autumn Food Drive.
Okay, so you do a little bit of searching on the website for us.
First you go into the Alameda County
Food Bank?
Community Food Bank.
Okay, gotcha.
website.
All right, Alameda County Community Food Bank website. Or you can write a check to ABWA, and it will be divided equally between the Alameda County and the Alameda City Food Banks. And if you donate to the Alameda County Food Bank before the 27th, the donation will be matched. So it'll be doubled, I guess, huh? Now, we have also Birthday Sunday. We have a jam-packed service today. So anyone who is celebrating a birthday in September, we would like you to come up to the front, please. September birthdays. Don't end your. Oh boy, we got Kent. Anyone else? Come on. Are you the solo person? Stand there for a second. Dual shoko, good.
Are you sure there's not anyone else? Don't be shy. Okay, let's sing happy birthday to you, Ken.
Do you want to say one more?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ken. Happy birthday to you.
Photo. Okay. So I just have one more thing to add. This is what the Narcan looks like. It's a nasal pump. It's a one-shot deal. It says the expiration is October 2026.
But the FDA ruled that they're good for an additional 3 years. So keep it on you. Everyone that's interested, and only take it if you want it, because I'm giving these out and I have a limited supply. So if you have a need for it, either opioids in your medicine cabinet or you have a pet, please take one. And then this is what I'm handing out also, the 3 steps. And this little QR code, if you scan it with your phone, I have these. This is a great substance use disorder prevention, treatment, and recovery resource guide. The full guide is, you can scan it or you can take one of these. If you know someone who is struggling, this is a Bay Area resource, so there's lots of good information in there. Okay, and I'll pass these out inside. Thank you.
Okay, so now is the fun, not that it wasn't fun. This is the exciting part for me. So I'm going to read the list of our Keiro members for 2025. Now, they're not all here, but first I'll read them out, okay? Mrs. Misako Akiyama, Mrs. Mamie Dai, Mrs. Kayoko Fujimoto, Mrs. Marianne Hamasaki, Mrs. Yoko Hashimoto, Mrs. Nan Kataoka, Mrs. Tama Koda, Mrs. Setsuko Kuramoto, Dorothy Mizono, Mr. Kenny Narahara, Mrs. Carol Takaki, Dr. Norman Takaki, Betty Takano, Mrs. Kuki Takeshita, Mrs. Mei Yamaoka, and Mrs. Mitzi Yoshimura. So, I think we have everyone. Oh, didn't I not? Oh, I missed Mr. Sadao Hayano. Thank you so much. So, we would like all of you who are here to come up for Oshoko, and then after that, we would like to take a photo. Okay, so, one by one, please come up and do your Oshoko. And Oshoko. So the instructions, Cato folks, if you exit, please just sit down in the first couple of rows. Don't pick up a bento because it will be taken to you, okay? So you guys get to leave first. So everyone else, when you oshoko, you can leave, and we have our bentos. You know, everybody who RSVP'd their bentos but haven't paid yet, we've got an area for you to pay your bento first, and then you can pick up, okay? Essentially, that's it. So that concludes our service for today. Thank you.